team just to learn how to swim. My friends encouraged me to join, thinking that they could teach me how, but they really misunderstood the level of zero swimming ability that I had. So I didn't know the basics, like learning how to float or even being calm in the water or having any intuition. Little Mermaid wasn't my favorite princess, so I just didn't know what to do. And so on the first day of tryouts, the pool deck was really chaotic with everybody trying to join the team. And the coach was also my yearbook instructor and was surprised to see me out of context. And I was surprised to be there too. The coach told me to go warm up, and I quizzically looked at all these other people in the pool who actually knew what to do. And he just looked at me again and said, like, go, like, I need to deal with other things. And I was like, okay, I'll go warm up in the pool, okay. And so, I think that for UEP, we really didn't know what we were going in for. We might have known what we were going in for, but you never really know. And a lot of us would ask each other or our peers for best practices. What type of class should I take? What should my thesis be about? Where should I go get lunch on campus to, fuel our bodies and brains to get this degree? But no matter how much you ask or plan for these things, it could be very unexpected. But I think that for all of us, UEP and also joining the swim team, is just a really wondrous time of unlocking our curiosity and our potential and just throwing it out into the world to see what happens. And so we all started at different spots. Maybe you knew about planning before, maybe you already had the job in mind, but to see the growth within the 2 or so years of getting this degree has been really fabulous. Oh, some of you also did it in 1 year, so that's really cool too. Okay, so I jumped into the pool, and I imagined myself doing what everybody else was doing, but it was much better said than done, and I started drowning. And so drowning. And so the lifeguard had to save me. So she grabbed my wrist and pulled me out of the pool, and I was so embarrassed because obviously you shouldn't do that at swim practice. And I just laughed it off with adrenaline, and I said, I'll just try it again. I don't know why anybody listened to me, so I jumped in a second time, just try to do it more aggressively, and this time I got further away from the ledge of the pool, and I really was level 2 drowning. And then, so this time the lifeguard had to jump into the pool and actually drag my body out, so she had to sacrifice her dry clothes. I think it's the first time the lifeguard has ever saved somebody at a swim practice. And so I started hyperventilating because I really put myself in danger. And finally the swim coach came over and legitimately taught me how to swim in the kiddie pool, which is what I wanted in the first time. And so I think this is maybe, this definitely happened for me, I don't know if this happened for you, just classic rookie mistakes. Not fully asking what we needed for help, thinking that we can do really big things, and maybe being a little prideful that we can do this all on our own. But I really think that within this department, there's such a huge support system. Our own friends, our faculty, our staff, people at Tufts, the librarians, the assistants at the data lab. And it's not, this degree isn't about us, but it's about everybody who supported us through this time. And maybe some commotion to get that attention, but it happened. We're all here now. And then, so throughout the season, I showed up at every practice, and every aspirational freshman was really encouraging for me learning basic skills. And the really cool seniors were really encouraging when I could accomplish 50% of the intended workout for that day. And it took a while to be functional in the pool, but in the meantime, I supported the other players by helping them get snacks, record their times, count the number of laps that they had to do in the pool. And so their success felt like my success, and I really created different goals each day in practice to get to the end of actually figuring out how to swim. And so the UEP community is also very similar. We all have different definitions of success, and incremental changes will eventually lead towards large steps of progress. And again, we're learning from each other of wow, that person has this really great skill in public communication, I should go talk to them, or that person really needs support, just making sure that they know what the problem sets are that day, I'm gonna help them. And so that teamwork and recognizing that each person has a different role in the society to be a practical visionary was a really great time here at Tufts. And lastly, this time learning how to swim wasn't just about my body. I was really thinking deeply about why people do this. Like, why are you swimming when we're land animals? Or how do you swim by like inhaling through your mouth and then exhaling through your nose? Like, I've never really thought about that before because that's a basic skill to just do on land, but in the pool it's completely different. And so I like how UEP really encourages us to rethink policy and planning and to reshape our discipline and our practice. And we're thinking about systems, we're thinking about the basics, we're thinking about our assumptions, and really healthily questioning that so that we can lead towards greater social welfare in the world. And so for many years after high school, I dropped that off because I was busy doing other things. But this year, I came back to it. And each week, I would swim in the morning with Steph. And we met other people at the pool. I locked eye contact with the lifeguards all the time just to make sure they knew I was there. And I had a really great time. And so I think similarly, after this moment at graduation, we might be rushed, or we might have like rocky next steps just to solidify our lives as UEP graduates, but it's still gonna stay with us. It might not be the first part of our identity or something we spend like 20 hours of our lives with each day, but we'll always come back to this community, what we learned here, and all the experiences we had moving forwards. It's really a process of being a practical visionary and being a part of this community. And so hopefully we all agree that this has really set us up for success to return to no matter how we do that. And so in conclusion, I hope this personal story and extended analogy has allowed you to think differently about your time at UEP. And my most enduring message is just to keep on swimming and to continue. So to continue visualizing success, continue the momentum of what we've started here, and to continue tackling problems in a grounded, practical, and visionary way. So thank you very much.
Our next speaker, Khalila Barnett, is a student speaker representing the Master of Public Policy program. Khalila is the former Executive Director of Alternatives for Community Environment, also known as ACE, a leading environmental justice organization based in Boston. For over 20 years, ACE has worked to build the power of low-income communities and communities of color in Massachusetts and in the region. Khalila first got involved with ACE as a volunteer and a member, and then later served on the board of directors. Khalila has over a decade of experience in community organizing around affordable housing, land development, and environmental justice. She's a Roxbury native and lifelong resident of Boston. Khalila graduated from Bates College with a degree in American Studies and Spanish, and prior to her work at ACE, she was a senior organizer at the Community Labor United and worked at Jamaica Plain Neighborhood Development Corporation and Madison Park Development Corporation. Khalila serves on the board of Mass Budget and Policy Center and the Center for Environmental Health. Khalila Barnett.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's really weird being in this round space. Thank you, Department Chair Mary Davis, for that introduction. Thank you to members of the faculty and the staff of UEP, friends and family for being here today to mark this important occasion. I am extremely honored to be here representing the 2017 graduates of the Master of Public Policy program. I want to thank you, my classmates, for volunteering me for this final assignment. As I was reflecting back on my experiences and preparing for this day, weeks in advance, and definitely not yesterday at my kitchen table, I felt a deep sense of gratitude for the opportunity to study here at Tufts, and also an appreciation for all of you, my dear classmates, especially my fellow MP peers. You all have exceeded my expectations for who I would meet while studying here at Tufts. You are the cleverest, funniest, most sarcastic, caring, and supportive group of people that I have met in a long time. And I know that I would not have made it to this day without each of you, and I'm sure that many of you feel the same way. As many of the speakers have mentioned, the relationships, camaraderie, and support that I have found here seem to be a central theme in the way that UEP operates. And of course, this resonates deeply with the organizer and me. We came to UEP ready for something more than the routines we had developed as professionals. As executive director of ACE, I felt myself constantly wrapped up in my day-to-day. I wanted an opportunity to look ahead, to think about whether there was a new journey I could come up with. Regardless of how far we came or why, we all showed up eager to absorb new material, new skills, and new ways of thinking. We were there for each other when the reality of being a mid-career student sunk in. Basic math tidbits like y equals mx plus b, stuff we had gladly left for dead as teenagers, was back in our lives, and we powered through. We got a grasp on new skills like geographic information systems and finding and analyzing data sets. We dissected every aspect of policy implementation and learned never again to use the term best practice. Now we use smart practice. We gathered once a week with Penn to stay grounded and focused on why all of us were here at UEP, to learn to turn our visions into practice. We made time for pep talks and gossip sessions at Brown and Brew, and we laughed a lot. All of this while carrying the responsibilities of work, family, and trying to be responsible, engaged participants in the civic life of our communities and in our country. But today on this beautiful and